Today in Sports Report, the game number 1, the best in the history of Kazakhstani football. Powerlifting, the Kazakhstani sportsmen are again in the cohort of the strongest. November 12, 1971, January 28, 1981, and November 22, 1988. All these dates were firmly established in the history of Kazakhstani football. In the 3 stadiums in Alma-Ata, Moscow, and Kishinev, Kairat won its 3 biggest trophies. The Cup of International Sports Union of Railwaymen was established in 1947. Until 1959, the tournament was held among the national teams of railwaymen of the countries of Europe. Since the 1960s, the clubs of railway department presented in the Premier League of the national championships took part in the competitions. At that time, Kairat had to deal with this department and defended the honor of USSR in the Cup of ISER, International Sports Union of Railwaymen. Kairat started its campaign for the trophy, at that time performing in the first league, at the beginning of the 1970s under the management of the honored coach of the USSR, Alexander Svidov. The Czech Lokomotiv was defeated in Almaty 4-1 and became the first opponent of the Kairat players. In a response meeting in Josis, Kairat lost with a minimal score 0-1, but according to the 2 meetings they moved forward. The way to the Cup of ISER Alma-Ata continued in the 1971 season, already performing in the Premier League of the Union Championship. At the helm of the team of Sviridov, Viktor Korolkov was replaced, and in the semi-final, Kairat examined the strong Bulgarian club, Žižek Slavia, and at that moment united Sofia, Lokomotiv, and Slavia.
Levski Spartak из Болгарии, команда, одна из лучших команд в Европе.
Levski Spartak from Bulgaria, one of the best teams of Europe. If to talk about the team of Bulgaria, the players were from the national team. The only player, a goal scorer, and a famous footballer from Bulgaria was Mikhailov. This is the player of Levski Spartak. That was the first official match of the team Kairat.
Это был игрок команды именно Левский Спартак. Это был первый матч официальный у команды Кайрат.
The first meeting in Alma-Ata confirmed the high class of the Bulgarian footballers. We lost 1-3. Such a fiasco, moreover in native walls, few people believed in the overall success of Kairat players, but those demonstrating a fighting spirit made an even more convincing away win, 3-0.
Это вообще был большой успех, не то что для команды Кайрат, все-таки мы.
That was a great success for the team Kairat. We didn't only present our country, we presented a great country named USSR. In 2 matches, we moved to the next tournament. Just in the final, we met the team Rapid. That is a Romanian team, one of the best in Europe.
Из 2 матчей мы вышли в следующий тур, где уже в финале встречались команды Rapid.
Eugene Pionovsky, Yuri Svidov, and Vladislav Markin all scored. Thus, Kairat was the first from the Soviet clubs which achieved the final of the Cup of ISER. Then there was to be a match with the current winner of the trophy, the Romanian Rapid. After a hard match in Bucharest, it ended in a draw 1-1. Everything must have been decided in a response final game in Alma-Ata. On the last minute of the first time, Yuri Svidov with Sergei Roshkov played with a strong spirit. After a corner, Svidov lured over 2 defenders of the opponent and tossed the ball to Roshkov in the corner of the penalty. He didn't miss and the crowded stadium exploded with joy. Kairat took the lead 1-0 and it didn't lose its advantage till the end of the game. After the final whistle, the fans in the stands of Central Stadium lit thousands of torches in honor of the victory of Kairat, the first of the Soviet teams which won the Cup of International Sports Union of Railwaymen.
Ну а с «Рапидом», играя дома, в общем-то, конечно, у нас не было сомнений, что мы обыграем «Рапид», и Кубок железнодорожников первый останется в Алмате.
Playing with Rapid at home, we didn't doubt that we'd win Rapid, and the Cup of Railwaymen will remain in Almaty. We were sure that we were strong in 4 tournaments and winning Kosais, Lokomotiv, and Bucharest. We put on a good end. After this match, by the decision of the USSR Football Federation, a group of footballers, especially Kairat players, were awarded with the title Master of Sport of the USSR. It was the highest achievement for Soviet football of that period. Another big win of the flag of the Kazakhstani football had been waited for almost 10 years by the fans. The winter of 1981 was special for Kairat. Getting ready for the season, Alma-Ata took part in an international tournament for the prize of the weekly edition Nedelya in January. Moscow took home the main trophy. Winter football tournaments and the gyms held during the trainings of the teams for the next season acquired special vogue in the 70s and 80s of the last century. One of them was taken into care by the edition of the weekly newspaper Nedelya, an annex to the union newspaper Izvestia. The tournament of the week was held once a year. We played in Moscow. The best teams of the Soviet football played in the Commonwealth Cup and the Cup of the Week at that moment. Now young teams can play, but at that time it must have been the best teams. The final rival of Kairat in a group stage, MTC from Budapest, was also won by our team. The only goal of Valery Gladilin decided everything. The tournament in a parallel group was won by Moscow Dynamo. According to the regulation, the winners of the group in the final challenged the trophy. The decisive match of the tournament, correctly, its second time, was broadcasted on Central Television. For the start of the broadcast, Kairat had won 1-0. Gladilin scored in the first half again. The second time made our fans jitter. First, Dynamo, with the effort of Nikolai Latish, drew the score. 10 minutes before the end of the normal time, a penalty was established for the gates of Kairat. Fortunately, Nikolai Tolstukh, the current president of RFU, missed. 5 minutes before the end of the match, the coaching staff of Kairat, headed by Igor Volchok, substituted firmly the defender Alexander Ubikin, but the chief specialist at the reflection of the penalty of Kuralbek Odorbayev. The first 5 kicks, players of both teams did not miss, but when the strikes until the first miss, Odorbayev in his trademark style parried the kick of Alexander Minayev.
Тогда мы вдвоем уже были. Я был вратарем и Александр Убыхин. И в то время, когда же тоже ничья.
At that moment, we had 2 goalkeepers, me and Alexander Upkin. In the normal time, it was a draw, and the coach who trained the team was Igor Volchok. He released me 10 minutes before the end of the game. But it was a psychological attack on the opponent because I took perfect penalties at that moment. Well, my authority influenced on that game, and I parried 2 goals. We won the cup, and that was the news of the week.
На этом сыграла моя авторитет, можно сказать. Я 2 мячей парировал.
20-year-old Sergei Volgin didn't miss the penalty. The Cup Nedelya was ours. 1988, a landmark in the era of Soviet football. The USSR national team won silver at the European Championship in Germany. The country's Olympic team brought gold from Seoul. Kairat, also distinguished in its level, won the Federation Cup of the football of the USSR. 3 victories over Neftchi in Baku 4-3, and at home over Shakhtar 3-1, and Tbilisi Dynamo 6-2 brought the Kazakhs to first place. Tradition of big wins, Kairat continued in the quarterfinals, defeating Minsk Dynamo. In this game at the Central Stadium in Almaty, only Kairat players scored and only Sergei. In the first half, Volgin scored twice. The second goal was scored by Patsai. For the permit to the finals of the tournament, Kairat, who was already coached by Viktor Ostroshko, had to argue with Moscow Dynamo and in its field.
В чемпионате участвовало 16 команд. И 16 команд, в основном большая масса была большой.
If to talk about the USSR Championship, so 16 teams took part in the championship. A great number of players and teams were from the republics. Let's take these teams as an example. The Kiev Dynamo, the Tbilisi Dynamo, Ararat Yerevan, Neftchi Baku, Zhalgiris, Patakor, and Pamin Dushanbe. Most of the players of this team played in the national team. That is also a good team. At that time, the USSR Championship were the best to compare with our Soviet football. That was the strongest championship in the European medium.
Это вообще был чемпионат сильнейший в европейской, можно сказать, среде.
The rival was painfully familiar, Neftchi, which Kairat had already met twice in the group stage and scored 4 goals, 4-4 and 4-3. It is interesting that in each of these fights to the gate of rivals, the Kairat player Viktor Karachun arranged a double. In the Kishinev final, Karachun altogether made poker and Kairat won 4-1. It is curious that neither before nor after was Victor noted as a goal scorer. That was his finest hour. It was his and Kairat's. The Kazakhstani Powerlifting Championship took place in Almaty. The strongest sportsmen from all regions of Kazakhstan came to the southern capital to fight for medals and try an opportunity to win a permit for the World Championship. The first championships was held in Taraz in March of this year. The selection was in the World Championship on gear powerlifting. There were 2 championships on bench press championship in gear and gear powerlifting there. There was a selection for the Asian Championship in Hong Kong. Competitions were held over several days and included several disciplines, bench press and also powerlifting and classical and gear. Now there is a strong emphasis on the classical powerlifting. Gear is becoming expensive and competitions are not entertaining as compared with classical ones. If there were 700 sportsmen in the Championship of South Africa, so today in the Championship of Finland, 12,000 people from 70 countries were declared. These are just athletes, not including coaches, masseurs, and so on. This championship is the selection for the World Championship, which will take place at the beginning of July in Finland. Competitors exist, and we have to fight. This year I am going to be chosen for the World Championship because we are performing in the Asian Championship in gear. They are like intermediate competitions. Today, powerlifting has been developed in many countries of the world. The Kazakhstani sportsmen are now one of the best in Asia and gradually winning positions in the world rating. To promote this type of sport, the World Federation is going to combine 2 continents, Asia and Oceania.
Мы хотим Океанию и Азию совместить. 2 континента совместить.
We want to combine 2 continents, Asia and Oceania. They also perform in the Asian Games. We want to revive powerlifting. We went there for the first time and we had such a format. The second championship of Asia and Oceania will take place in December in Uzbekistan.
У нас сейчас в декабре второй будет Азия и Океания в Узбекистане.
In the Republican Championship, the coaching staff of the national team looked for potential representatives of the first team. There are a great number of international starts ahead, including the World Championship, and the Kazakhstani sportsmen will have to perform as well as possible. I've been doing this for 13 years, but all the same, every competition is a test for mind and physical ability. Worth competitors exist. There are many new people who didn't perform last year. We should control them. We can't relax in any case. In the staff of the national team, there are its leaders, but according to the words of the head coach, the emphasis is made on the youth.
Сейчас ведущий у нас Измаханов Байконур, он на чемпионатах мира, между прочим, он еще...
Our leading sportsman now is Ismailkhanov Baikonur. Being a junior, he became an absolute champion in 2012. He lifted more than a ton for the first time. He is the first junior who could lift such a weight. At that time, his result was 1 ton and 1 kilo. Now he is able to lift a ton and 80 kilos.
На чемпионате мира и за тонну поднял. Он тогда поднял, собрал ту сумму, тонна 1 килограмм. Но сейчас он у нас поднимает больше, он у нас поднимает тонну уже 80 килограмм.
At the end of the championship, the sportsmen will have a short vacation and then they will have to train again. The World Championship is ahead and it is necessary to be properly prepared for the future starts.
В сборную едет со всех областей и городов. Даже не то, что из Караганды, в сборную входящуюся едет.
There will be members from different oblasts and cities in the national team. They will be from Karaganda, Aktau, Atrau. Only the best ones will go. If you win the first place, you will present the country. But if the sportsman is injured, he will be changed by second place.
У нас выбора, первое место, все, разговора нету, идет, мы ведем. Если травмы нету, если он травмировался, мы заменяем вторым номером.
Just several years ago, Karaganda was the main supplier. And on the list of the best sportsmen athletes from all the regions of the country are present. Powerlifting is being developed all over the country, and big wins are not far away.